Y'all know what last night was. It was the Queen's Court docket, right? And Maddie said that she was hotter than a fat bitch vagina in Mexico. I said, ooh, that's pretty goddamn hot. She was sweating all over the place, because she did 2 rounds of Next Call Love. Bitch, what you talking about, bitch? She did 2 rounds of titty twerk, and I said, oh my Jesus, if Maddie's ding dong fall out the bottom of that dress, I'm gonna be too through. I said, oh God, please, they will shut everything down if her ding dong pops out from underneath that dress. Her balls falls down from out that daggone dress. I said, oh Lord Jesus, Maddie. But then I said, well, she must be tucked pretty good. But them titties ain't tucked. But for some reason, I didn't feel as offended from watching the tits as much as I was last week. And me being an old big-breasted woman, I know that having big breasts can make somebody feel uncomfortable. But I don't know. I think it was just the anxiety of wondering, is that motherfucker are they going to pop out? Am I going to see areolas? I'm not sure, but maybe because they was covered up a little bit more, I guess. But it was hard for me to watch the show last week because it was just too much titties. But let me say this about the show. The show flowed perfectly. Perfectly. I said, I see this show on the small screen. Now, I also can see it on a big screen because they have aspirations for bigger things, which I love. I can see it on a big screen, but not for a whole movie. You know what I'm saying? Not for a whole movie. Not just yet, but I definitely seeing them making this show something regular. And I can't wait because this show has great things to come, right? Now, let's do this. Let's talk about Monique. I never talked about Monique because Monique was irritating to me. Because I find Monique to be very irritating. I think that Monique is a bit delusional. I think that when Netflix told her that she was indeed a legend, I think Netflix was being nice to her. When they said that, in order for her not to feel insulted about the $500K. But I think Monique is a bit delusional. So I don't really like to touch on her because she's irritating to me because I feel like she dragged people in her BS all the friggin' time. And she has this sense of grandeur that is just over, and beyond to me. Like, she's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot who was I watching. Was it Funky Dineva? When Funky Dineva was like, simply put, I'm gonna have to call my baby back. Simply put, Precious should have got a Grammy, not Monique. I think the only reason why Monique got a Grammy when it came down to Precious was because she played old incestual child molester. And whenever you reach down to the depths of the gutter, you always win a Grammy. Either you a slave, or you a junkie, or some type of, special needs person, something like that. You always get a Grammy, something like that, But I really didn't think that her Grammy was merited. I'm just saying, anybody, if y'all feel like she deserved that Grammy, then let me know. But I know one thing, she might have deserved it, but she damn sure didn't deserve it before Gabrielle Sidibe, if you want to keep it real. Ding! But let's get back to what I want to talk about, okay? Now, what Kaya said, right? When she and I might be being petty, y'all can get me, but when she was talking about that lady with that gray hair, and then that silky, straight, goddamn can of cologne, Hawaiian silky bun on the top of her head, I wanted to find Monique and smack her in the fucking face. You know why you legendary, Monique? You legendary because you the first hussy that supposedly had bread that don't know that you have gray edges, but you gonna use a black straight bun on the top of your head instead of using old salt and pepper to bun. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then do that. You know, if you're gonna take it there, then do it right. But nobody in your life told you don't do that. You know, and like Funky Dineva had said, he had mentioned it also. Where are your friends? Where is Monique's friends that are in the industry to tell her, ma'am, I think you need to go take a seat. I think you need to realize what position you're in. You're alienating yourself. And then while you're at it, while you're going over there taking a seat, how about you take that Hawaiian silky straight black goddamn bun off the top of your head when you know you got all this gray coarse vagina hair coming out your roots? How about you do that? Y'all can imagine if the top look like that, then I'm sure that down below look like it too. And if she don't groom the top, I'm sure downstairs look like old Brillo pad that's been sitting in bleach for a couple of hours. If you know what I'm saying. I said to myself, why that lady don't know that she can't do that? Another thing that she touched on was her husband. Everybody say this man that she done got with, all of a sudden she just is tripping. I agree. There is no way the woman that I would be with, my wife, would turn down anything. Now, see, she don't turn down no money. Me, because I'm skeptical of everybody, I just say no to everything. Okay? Until you show me the money, it's no. I'm not doing no deals with you. I'm not giving you no credit. We're not putting shit on layaway. Everything is no until you show me the money. And if I feel like this little piece of change, like that $500K, we would have took that $500K and we would have flipped it. That's why I say, her husband is not a hustler. There's nothing street in her husband, because she should have flipped that. She should have took that money and funked it. She should have funked that show and reminded people why Netflix called her a legend, even though I said it was not merited, because that hussy ain't a legend in no way, shape, or form. She a legend because she been doing... I can't even say that. Because if she was doing shows and consistently funny, but that girl haven't even been consistently working for her to be called a friggin' legend. Let me get over, white people. Let me over. Thank you. So, she haven't even been working consistently to be called a legend. Legends are mother suckers that's been in the game for 20 years and have been working consistently. Yeah, she been on, doing stand-up consistently. But as far as her being in movies, she was just in, what was that, Almost Christmas? She rocked that. But what did she do before? And let me correct Kaya on one thing also. Kaya said that she needs to produce her own movies and be in her own movies. She has, Kaya, she has. I'm not sure the name of it. If anybody know the name of the movie, put it down below. But she has. It wasn't as successful as, really it wasn't as successful. But she has produced and made her own movie when she realized that Hollywood was not effing with her. And that's because she doesn't play the game. Now, because me and my wife are yin and yang. My wife knows how to play the game. I don't know how to play the game. Hence the reason why from time to time a job will tell my ass, look, we about to get rid of you. You need to make a deal. I can't help it. Sometimes, I need to work on that. My wife plays the game very well. But when it comes down to being old, ruthless, taking care of business ass mother sucker, it's me. But she needs to learn how to play the game. And she needs to get rid of that dude. Because that dude ain't no street ninja. He don't have no hustle in him. And he should have told her, let's take that $500K and flip the money. Now, let's move on to the next thing. Right? And one more thing. That she mentioned how, what's his name? Dave Chappelle said that people are too sensitive now. I agree. People are just way too sensitive. And I don't understand why. You can't say nothing without hurting a bunch of junkers. I'm not trying to cuss in this one's feelings or motherfuckers' feelings. So the next thing I want to talk about is 50 Cent. Why did they say that 50 Cent was terrorizing everybody? Everybody. And I was like, well, he does. But He always promoting something. You know what? 50 Cent be like, you know what? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to terrorize this person. Because that's what it is. It's actual terrorization. And you know them cancers, they don't forget nothing. And they could be petty. Like somebody is paying them to be petty. Okay? But they brung up 50 Cent, P. Diddy, and Ja Rule. Now, let me say one thing that I do not care for when it comes down to the Queen's Court. I don't really like how they throw out, that people, it's a possibility that people are on the DL, trade, dipping and dabbing in the community without facts. I don't really like that part because a man's sexuality and his ego. I said the hardest thing that a man has to contend with is his sexuality and his shame. No, it's his shame and his ego. So when you're taking jabs at his manhood, that F's with his ego, and I don't really care for that. Even if it is, rumors that have been out there, I think for the sake of the court, I think that's something that they should stay away from because they are going to alienate certain people by saying things like, suppose P. Diddy was gay. I mean, yeah, they talk about it, all the time, especially 50. He goes in super hard on P. Diddy, but just think, it's a possibility that that show could go on Revolt TV. You know what I'm saying? Or the Revolt Network. So, but they've already alienated that part out. They've already excluded that part because they put that out there that P. Diddy may be gay. I think, they need to pull back a little bit on that. Just like when they was talking about Offset. Now, Cardi B, I feel like Cardi B needs to be careful because don't let your boyfriend get you caught up in BS where people don't like you or a whole community don't like you because that daggone LGBTQ, MFOP, TRS, MUZ, them motherfuckers are super, uber sensitive. I mean, the lyrics that Offset used was nothing relative to the community, but goddamn, they associated with themselves. Jesus, but y'all, if y'all don't know, Cardi B's sister, Hennessy Carolina, is gay. She's been with her girl. It's her and her girlfriend all over the internet kissing each other in the mouth. So I'm like, he can't be around Cardi B and her sister and feel a certain way when his fiance's sister is gay. So I'm like, stop being so goddamn sensitive. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then she was talking about she wanted to see all of them penis. 50 Cent penis, Ja Rule penis, and P. Diddy penis. Yeah, they say P. Diddy is working with a Diddy, itty bitty Diddy. And they say 50 Cent is working with old Monster. Monster. That's what the lady, who was the lady that was in the movie with him about himself? I forget the name of that movie. God dang it, but the girl, who was the girl? Was it Rosario Dawson? Or what was the other girl name? Anyway, she said that when they was in the bed doing the booty and he had an old sock on his penis, she said she was enthralled. You hear me? Enthralled with how largely stacked that man was. I said, why do these women want to get with these men with these big old penises? What in the world? Why is these women? These women just press to have their vagina looking like roast beef sooner than later. Now let me get to the final part. That it was some other things after this. What is this? What is this part? Hold on, guys. Okay, let me talk about this. Okay, so of course Tia Kemp, Rick Ross' baby mother, was on Queen's Court last night. Let's do this. I already don't care for her. I don't care for neither one of them. I don't care for their tactics. And I F with Kaya because Kaya was being respectful. and still letting her know, look, y'all are being petty. This is petty. Y'all are doing these things, and this child is going to be affected by this. Get off the bullshit. Get off the petty bullshit. Because I like to ask every baby mother this who's chasing the money. When Kaya asked, would you give the child to the father if the father wanted him? She was like, yes. No, you wouldn't, bitch. No, you wouldn't. Because that little boy is your bag. It's your bag. No, you wouldn't. She said, oh, yes, I would. But he don't even pick up and talk to his son. You wouldn't give it up. People be so angry with each other that they want to make sure that the other person is broke. They want the other person to be miserable and fucking broke. Now, I don't believe she wants her husband to, or her baby father to be miserable. But I believe she wants him to be broke. Because I believe that she feel like she's owed something because she has his only son. And she feels like her son deserves a certain lifestyle. I agree with her when she says private school. But all that other BS that she bringing about, like now, she did answer a question that gave me a little sense of tingleness. Because Kaya was like, is the dick good? Because you acting like the dick is good. She said, no, the dick ain't good, but the head is good. And I said, I knew it. I knew that. Rick Ross looked like he give incredible fellatio. Okay? That's what all he looked like he gave. Is incredible fellatio. That's it. That's all. But for her talking about his lazy eye and him talking about well, I ain't gonna say, well, I'm a little sensitive with the lazy eye part because y'all know I got an old crooked eye. But I'm fixing it. I'm gonna get it fixed. But talking about his lazy eye, talking about all the fat he got on his stomach and all the women and just all these different things that I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? And then him talking about her being a part of the granny gang. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And Tia, why did you take this to social? Why are you taking this to social media? Why does everybody have to know you all's business? If you just know your role, if you just play the game, trust me, you can move in silence and get everything you want. But in her mind, being old strong woman is being all reckless out the mouth. No. Sometimes being strong is just being quiet and playing the friggin' game. Because trust me, nothing's going to get in the way of me, my bag, and my child. And then on top of that, she keep talking about how he likes squirt and lemonade. He likes this lemonade. I said to myself, oh God. Oh my God. Why is she doing all this? Is embarrassing. Because the 12-year-old is going to have to go to school and listen to his friends tease him about his parents going back and forth on the internet. She should be ashamed. As a grown woman that's 40-something years old, she should be ashamed of how she's acting. He should be ashamed too. They both should be a friggin' shame. But I could tell she old ratchet hussy. Ratchet hussy. And the only thing she did when she was on that show was repeated the same friggin' thing that she repeated on every single time she do a snap, an IG post. She repeats the same thing. I swear the only thing I learned about Rick Ross in that interview was that he had good head. That's all I learned. Everything else I already know. And it seemed like she gonna say it 1,000 times. And then let me close it off with this. Kaya and TS, don't have that bitch back on your show. Don't have that hussy result that show down to baby mamas dragging their baby fathers. And she like, I'm coming back every Monday to give y'all update. Bitch, how much more can you talk about? What else can you talk about? Because you done told us the same story 17 times. How much more can we talk about? But child bang. Anyway, guys, how'd you like the show? Tia Kemp got on my daggone nerves. She need to grow the F up. Hold on. Now, the last thing, I keep saying the last thing, I'm sorry, guys. But before I go, I want to give a shout out or a good rest in peace to Fredro Santana. Y'all know I love that little funny brown skin looking little Chicago rapper. Oh, I thought he was so attractive. And it breaks my heart to see how these young boys are dying off of lean. And you know what this is reminding me of? How back in the 60s, 70s, how all them rockers was dying off that heroin. You hear me? And I'm like, are these young men going down in history? And their legacy is going to be remembered as being junkies. Okay, because that's all this stuff is right now, is junkie rap. And what's the guy named XX Extension? 19 years old, talking about how he's fighting his demons at 19. How are you living with this much pain at 19 years old? How are you living with this much pain in your life? And I told y'all, I dealt with somebody that had addiction issues. And I know it's because he lived a hard life. He did a lot of bad things to people. And he had to get high to help his demons. Or to cope with his demons. But it's got to be something better. It's got to be. Because we're losing too many of our young men to drugs. Okay? So rest in peace to Fredro Santana. I know Chicago will miss you. And put all your comments below, guys, and let me know what you felt about Queen's Court. Do y'all want to see that bitch Tia Kemp back? Because I don't want to see that goddamn bitch back. All right, y'all, deuce.